of the different committee recommendations for the statement of district needs, which is priorities and projects in our district, and then we prioritize them into our budget asks. So each committee comes up with their list of priorities, and then we pile it all together into one big list of priorities, and we send that to the city and the relevant agencies, and that's what we're doing tonight. So thank you if anyone is here in the public or watching, or if you want to comment, please raise your hand. But, oh, Alan is here.
Hi, Alan.
We do not have a quorum. I'm gonna do the speech now. We're
Yes.
on, we're live.
Oh,
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
So we, MCB4 has adopted a hybrid meeting policy whereby we will meet both in person and virtually. All community board committee meetings will require an in-person quorum to come to order and conduct business. Board members are expected to attend meetings in person unless they have a disability or an extraordinary circumstance as defined by the New York State Open Meetings Law. Excused committee members and members of the public will still be able to participate virtually. Committee members who are joining via Zoom must leave their cameras on. We encourage members of the public to join virtually. The MCB4 hybrid policy can be found on our website. Tonight's meeting is still being recorded and is currently live streaming on YouTube. And I think, as I mentioned, you can always go back to our YouTube channel and watch the recording as well. So I guess we can start. Unfortunately, Nellie, I don't think we have quorum. So anything that we do, we would have to then submit. Oh, I guess we're going to submit to exec first, and they would have to vote it through. So yeah,
We can't do Jessica's traveling. So
yeah,
we already knew some people were not.
that's what we figured. Just so you know, Roberta and Nellie, Alan was saying some people maybe thought it was 6:30, which is what we were.
If Christine
concerned about.
shows up, then we have them.
Yeah, and you know, if someone can text Christine, she might not know. She might think it's 6:30, but
I can give Christine a call.
okay, can you do that, Nellie, for us, just to make sure she knows? I don't want her to, you know. Okay. So, first things first, this is, myself as, the chair of the budget task force is the duty of the second, vice chair, which will go to someone else next year. So whoever that person is, I wish them good luck, and I want to say thank you, because the last 2 years, really forming this budget has been probably the greatest learning experience on Community Board 4. You get to talk with the agencies, you get to really dive into each committee, you get to see what the priorities of the community are, and then those three come together. It really gives you a great overview. So I want to thank everyone for letting me do this for the past 2 years, and good luck to the next person, and I will help you out if you ever need anything. Come to me, I have all the files. So that's the first thing. Second thing, this is for committee members. We are probably going to work off 3 documents today. The first 2 are in the Dropbox. Those are the list of capital priorities and expense priorities. And as you can see, if you look in your Dropbox materials, there's a full priority list, but it's also broken down into committee priorities. And then the third is the Google Doc that has been shared, which is the statement of district needs that we're working off of. That has more right now. It's what I've been editing the narratives on. So all of the narratives are going to be in that Google Doc, and we can go over that in a little bit. But I thought what we would go over first would be listing the priorities, because I think if we go over the capital, that will help craft the narrative, right? Whatever kind of we push to the top and then filter down below, we'll naturally craft our narrative. So why don't we get the capital out? And while we do that, I just want to know if everyone has gotten to see the survey by any chance or no?
I have not, so I'm wondering if we have sort of I know you sent an email, but I'm wondering if there is a visual you can share on the screen of some of the rough.
Yeah. Yeah, Nelly, do you have that? It should be in the Dropbox.
I have 3 documents that Jesse sent me. I'll put up what he sent me and you tell me if that's what you're looking for. And Christine will be there in 2 minutes.
Oh, good. Okay, so if you go to the Dropbox, there is a folder that says 2023 MCB4 survey results.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Yeah, no worries. This should have the bar graph that Jesse put together, but also the raw data, which includes the comments from the public.
You haven't,
Which we
I recommend just briefly perusing the comments. They're somewhat illuminating.
Yeah, and so I will go over the survey a little bit. I sent it to the oh, there she is. Good, Christine.
We just started.
We just started, and you are quorum.
I am.
Yes, you are quorum. Christine is quorum.
There is quorum.
Yes. And I brought TK from Chinatown if you would like.
Leslie,
Yeah.
can you repeat
Yes.
which document is it that you need?
Absolutely. If you go to the Dropbox,
Mhm.
it will say 2023 MCB4 survey results. It's listed as the first one in mine, the first folder in the Dropbox. Okay, and if you open that up, the first one says the community district needs survey partial results.
Got it.
That will have a bar graph. I think that's what Dolores was referring to.
Okay.
I'm putting up the survey results just.
We just started. You know what, it was really before you came, Alan walked in because he thought it was just me and Dolores. And then Roberta was on Zoom with her, we'll do the whole budget.
This one?
Yeah. Yes, one of you, if you scroll down, Nelly, thank you so much. I think Dolores just requested a visual. Yes, here you go. So I can read it off while we go. So I don't know if this may surprise some people, it may not surprise some people. This is the last, actually, how many is the most recent?
259, it said.
So the 259 was of last week, was of 2 days, there might have been a bunch more that had come on. But out of 259 people, I don't know if this surprises anyone, doesn't surprise anyone, we got really just about identical to last year. We thought maybe public safety might go down a bit, but no. So
New problems.
yeah,
Well, we have new problems.
we do, but that will go into the quality of life, which I'll go into. So the number one, again, I don't want to say by far, but pretty much by far, concern in our public survey is public safety. Affordable housing is number 2, and then quality of life.
What's the blue and green?
Yeah, but
The two blue and green, yeah, but I can't
It's
figure out.
social services and homelessness, and it's the
Quality of
quality of
life.
life, which are, if you think about it, they sort of fall into the same issue, because when most people are thinking from the way the questions are, homelessness, they're thinking about how it may lead to somebody who's on their stoop or.
No, got it.
yeah, so this is just,
So have you done that?
Nelly, can you scroll down, up a bit? Just go back up, I'm sorry, up. I think this was number 1. Okay, number 1, and if you keep going down, so what I did was I took 1, 2, and 3, and as you saw in the email, I combined them, just so we would have a better view of what people thought were 1, 2, and 3. The one caveat is there was a separate section for trash and cleanliness, which some people think of quality of life, and last year in our narrative, we kind of injected it in our third quality of life. So, if you're gonna put that in there, that is actually hand in hand with public safety, if you include that trash.
So that basically,
Concern.
it's still the same 3
Same
primary
three.
concerns as last year.
Correct.
Interesting. Okay,
Correct.
Thanks.
So, and then social services and homeless tallied about 111 votes in the top 3, that's a 4th place finish, but just for reference. So, thanks, Nelly. So we were going to you were just gonna dive right into capital instead of going through the narratives. The reason why is because I think if we get our capital priorities, it will kind of dictate a little bit our narrative, right? It will help us with the narrative.
I mean,
Well, go ahead, Alan, I'm sorry.
Just to go back to the survey,
Yeah,
I think would help. And maybe we need to figure out how to get the survey out to more people somehow next year. Because this is about the same number that we got last year.
It's still open.
And, yeah, well, so we picked up, I think, a couple more. But what I'm surprised at is, how few people look at education as a primary. No, 0, and only 3 people on the update, consider education, considering the feedback that we get from parents lately and everything else. So I think somehow we need to, in the survey, figure out who's responding to in some way.
yeah,
And you know, you have to be careful how you ask questions and all of that kind of stuff, but you have to somehow figure out, are a lot of single people who.
Right.
Something like that, so.
So,
that's something-
let me, what I did different this year, is I sent it out specifically to all the block associations within Hell's Kitchen. So that it would reach that audience. Perhaps what we could be doing since the survey's still open is send it to PTAs.
maybe.
I think that would be good.
Because then we may start seeing.
It'll be a
this
broader
other
audience.
concern.
And we should get, what's his name, Eric Butcher may have a list for the schools.
That's a great
Yeah,
idea.
we
And
have it
say,
on-
give us the school
Yeah.
list, or here is the thing, send it
Send it
to
out.
your list.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see it from the
I
elected.
I think Eric did have this in one of his newsletters, so.
But that was a long time
There's a
ago. I
lot.
think it was.
Really have to
When
keep
we
this
when we redid it, it didn't show up in the next newsletter, so
That's
that's a
right.
great idea.
That's right, yeah.
Okay. But you were gonna say about narrative, because I mean, there's things obviously for that, the preamble and taking those results from the survey that I'm gonna be crafting some language
Yeah,
over the
no,
weekend.
but I was reacting to capital, for example, for transportation. There was very little capital. I mean, most of it is in the expense.
Expense,
So if
okay.
you, the story is more in the expense
Yes.
than in the capital.
We can reflect that then.
Yeah.
We'll definitely
All right,
reflect.
well,
I mean,
I'm
fine
happy to
with
dig
it.
in.
I'm fine with it. Just wanted to correct that.
In the Dropbox.
So what is this called? This is really good.
It's those, I went down to Chinatown, the tea cakes.
Tea cakes.
Tea cake, like little tea, I mean,
So, which one do you want Nellie to put up?
so now can you go to, I'm just gonna go back, I think there's a little slow. If you go to Dropbox, I think it's, it says committee budget request, new draft. Do you see that as like a blue and white lines?
Yeah.
Use it electric.
Hold on one second.
Yeah, no worries. And below it, there's a document that looks exactly like it, but that's the expense.
Which one is it?
So it says MCB4 committee cap budget requests, and it has like, you'll see it, the visual, at least on my computer, is like blue and white lines. That was one of the 3 documents that Jesse sent you. So I don't know if you wanna work off that or work off the Dropbox, but they're both the same.
Delicious.
This one?
Do they make these with a little jelly inside?
Yes. No, that's expense. See below it says EXP. It should say, it's the other, it's the,
Why do they all say C under Pepper expense?
No, this
Mhm.
one says capital at the top.
Can you
Oh,
make
it's
it a little
Yeah, the
bigger?
top, it says cap, but.
yeah, can you make it a little bigger? Because when we see it on the screen,
We see nothing.
it's small.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
So this
But
is
that's not,
capital
no,
for
that's,
next
this
year,
is
for
not, no,
last
this
year,
is not,
right?
this is not the recent one.
Oh,
Well, we're only HHH and S spooning, that's why. See, it's on a specific.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
just that the summary.
Yeah, do export summary.
No,
Okay, see down where it says, no, see,
that's not that.
this is not it, this is expense.
But the top says cap budget in the actual name of the document.
Okay, if you go down, Nellie, see where it says on the very bottom,
Mhm.
F24.
This?
Yeah, yes, that's it. You got
Okay.
it. That's it.
Since we have expense up, let's just,
No, this is, yeah, this is expense. Okay, should we do, I guess we should do expense. There we go, transportation. could do expense, right?
This is expense?
Yeah, sorry, we skipped.
Okay.
It was just we had on the screen.
We have to change them.
What line is it? If you go down, it's mine.
Is it the one I sent you? Oh,
So
no.
this is.
What you see there, ease.
No, I understand, but where's the rest of them? On mine, I don't.
Next tab.
I have two different documents. This one's labeled cap. Do you want me to open the other one that I have?
Yeah,
No,
for
it's
some,
not, don't you want cap?
We were trying to get capital, but we're not sure.
but for some reason it says cap, but those are expensive.
Which
What-
one is it?
what-
She's going to you to open it.
But when
Yeah.
Ellie was in the tab for HHH&S, it said C. It said,
Right,
it said,
it's a capital. Just.
well, either way, let's,
Hold on, let's. Okay, can you scroll, we'll do this one, we could do expense, that's fine, we'll do expense.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull up my hard copy though, because,
Do you want me to just open what's in the Dropbox instead of what I was emailed?
no, it's okay, I think we're.
Okay.
That's good, actually, it's probably right, if you're in the Dropbox, that's what we want to have. Why is it not? Okay. No, mine's not coming back already. Come on. In the Dropbox, I don't know. Oh, you open the Dropbox, I had nothing. All right, well, anyway, let's go, if we do expense, if you see the top two, where it says new, those are, new asks, I think one came from transportation, that was the two big items that we've been hearing this year throughout our committees and on the board. One is the e-bike or moped situation. And the second is through our cannabis task force, which is, the proliferation of weed shops, illegal weed shops. So we consulted with the cannabis task force and they sent us two, asks. One is expense, one is capital, so I've only seen one there. So the reason why I put new there is because we can decide where we're gonna kind of fold it into the group.
So do we have the priority of last year? Shouldn't we be looking at the priority and then say where do we put those money? I mean, do we have the priority of last year and we have all the new stuff from this year? So
Yeah.
how do you do that?
So if you scroll down, Ellie, a little bit. Why is it all empty?
no, it's because they're not expanded. That's,
No, you have to expand.
that's line 2,930.
Right, you have to expand. This is like a zillion, right?
Yeah, no, it's,
We don't have 2,000 thing.
No.
Something is wrong with this.
something is wrong with the thing. the
Yeah.
document.
Right.
Is this the one Jesse sent you, Ellie?
Yes, this is a document that Jesse emailed both of us.
FGH.
Yeah, we're missing also the columns.
Yeah, you see, you have F.
So.
You are missing A to F.
So,
You know what, I'm gonna send,
hold on a second.
no, hold on, I'm gonna send her.
At the bottom, on the left-hand side, there's an arrow, and there's also 3 dots.
Yeah, see if there's anything to the left, because see how we broke it, Nellie, see those? We broke it down,
So we go to the green arrow first.
no, to the left, to the
Yeah,
left.
that one, that
Yeah.
one. Let's go to export summary.
No, that's what we did before.
That's
Oh,
fine.
let's do that.
Yeah, that's that.
And then,
We don't have master list. I have it here.
so then you have to.
So why don't you send it for 1 second?
I'm gonna send, yeah, because it's not,
Right.
you know what, Nellie, if you can give me a minute,
Yes,
Okay.
24.
I am going to send you, I have,
That's the tab one. That was the tab we were on.
Oh, yeah.
and it didn't have everything.
Yeah, but this is like going to 2,000, line 2,000.
I'm going to have to send it to Excel because I'm working off an Apple.
Okay,
So let's export it, and then I will send it to you in Excel form.
okay.
Oh, you Apple.
Sorry.
Don't use there, it says, what is it? This is, I can use page, but.
But we were IBM, that's all they used was Excel, right?
Yeah, no, I
So-
lived in Excel.
No, it's not coming up either.
I
Mine's
can't-
not coming up either.
Okay, so what we need to do is you brought the hard copy.
This is just ACES, all I have is ACES.
Right, and I have transportation, I could open,
I have it in this form.
okay, wait,
So
I
you share your screen.
I'll share my screen.
Yeah.
Can I share my, well, I'm not on Zoom.
You have to
I
just.
could have to see on Zoom.
Okay, so we're adding it to Zoom, just turn up your volume.
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
Oh, you have it?
I have it though in Apple, so she can't use that, so I'll just share my screen. All right, I'm gonna get on Zoom.
So while we're waiting for that, just to talk a little bit about the narrative and linking that to the survey, as well as just what we saw, those 2 new requests on the screen. I think that one of the things that we all know, and but we probably should say it publicly, is that we may put our priorities, which are reflecting those overall concerns that we hear. However, each of those priorities are going to a specific agency. So even if we put something that we really care about in education as number 7.
That would be the first one in
If it's
education.
the first
Right.
education request, it's the first thing they see. So I just wanted to, at least if there is anybody in the public listening, that what we're not trying to say is that this is, we don't care about education or we don't care about parks. It's just, we know that there may be some things that are overarching in the minds of the community at the moment, and we want to show that the narrative fits to where those concerns that have been articulated.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of the narrative, you got your email last night. One of the things that's echoing just what we saw on the survey from at least Midtown North and Midtown South police precincts, a lot of the immediate concern is, as we're trying to address the narcotics along the 8th Avenue corridor in the 30s, we're starting to see blocks being pinched in the 40s with this problem. So massive amount of needles in,
Oh, yeah.
oh yes, all of our little parks, Ramona Ponte, Matthews.
So I
Pond,
don't understand the rules and regulation about the needles.
they can't do anything,
That's what I'm saying, right?
right? And so this is part of the problem, is that
So is it something that we should not be asking NYPD? We should be asking our elected.
exactly, however, one of the things that came up.
Nelly, I'm gonna call you. I'm sorry, because it's saying I can't get on because I'm a panelist.
So one of the things that's interesting is that came up at our this week's precinct council meeting is the real cry for help for coordination. And who is that coordination with? The coordination would be from electeds to think about how they can further tweak the law. So that's one.
Can you send me?
2, with the immediate problem, how do we work with DSNY? How do we ask for more budget so that they have actually people who can pick up needle? Because there's only like 2 people in the whole city that can come to pick up needle waste. So you'll call.
So it's an ask for sanitation then?
Absolutely, but then also it's asking PEP, which of course PEP is not part of NYPD. PEP, which is Parks Enforcement.
Yeah, but we were not talking about the parks, right?
Well, what we're seeing in the 40s is a lot of that,
Going into the
what you had on 8th Avenue, right in your community.
Right.
That's now starting trickling into all of our little pocket parks in the 40s.
So you need
I got
funding
it.
for training.
Okay, I'm gonna join.
No,
I guess we're gonna need it.
I mean, you need to, yes,
And DSNY, and I
because
think that if there's a collaboration with DSNY, PEP and NYPD for what they can do, there are things that NYPD can do. If someone's in the middle of shooting up, that's illegal, right? If someone's selling heroin, that's illegal, right? So actually, I'm wondering, is heroin still illegal?
Okay.
Oh, my God.
Not to
but I thought they could shoot in the street and it was not illegal.
So that's. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Okay, right, so you're gonna. So either way, that what's important, and sorry, I haven't been turning towards you, Roberta. Actually, that's the wrong way. Hi, sorry, I'm gonna turn towards her. Is that the narrative that's really important to, not like we do in budget, is to link these items as having not cause and effect, but having some connection that because I think the main ask should be.
I think it should be in the narrative.
In the narrative, right.
Of different section, saying, this is what we want, because then we can take this narrative and put it all back to back and send it to everyone. And
Yes,
say, these are the kind of things where you have to do it, because we can't, right? So, you know, that's what I think we could be doing.
yeah, so I think that's a great idea. So starting off to say that we have these overall problems.
Right.
But some of these problems we know can be alleviated if in
You know,
DSNY, we have these types of additional.
because if you go DSNY, they're just going to go DSNY, you
Right,
know, and that's the major problems we have, you're right.
It's not,
Of things coming together, when we were listening yesterday to vendors, and we have like 5 agencies.
So guys, thank you for vamping, I appreciate it.
Okay,
So it's a little blurry, this is my hard copy, I don't know why the Dropbox, I'll talk to Jesse, but I don't know why the Dropbox copy is not working, I have no idea why I didn't.
I think you have to download it.
Yeah, I did, I mean, I don't know, but this is fine, so this is the capital, which is great, this is where I was referring to, this is the other cannabis expense, ask. We're gonna
So
talk.
can you make it just a little bigger?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Does that help? Okay, I just put the new up there because like I said, we're just gonna.
Right, we need to
Where we're
figure a
gonna
way to-
go, figure out where we're gonna go, we're gonna figure out language for it. Jesse Greenwald, who is the chair of the cannabis task force,
You know,
requested
number
an-
one, didn't we say last year that we needed specific requests? More than the general request? Oh, here it is, 413 West 46.
Yes,
yeah.
Okay.
Yep, and this is still live.
and as mentioned in the HHHNS, we still did have that. We had some specific asks that we added this year, but this one we still felt was important. A few things that came up, which I had suggested that this task force look at, is we have a few items, and Roberta, you can remind me if I'm mixing it up, but I believe a few of the items we talked about at HHNS, we had responses that they're being funded. But my argument was we still have these problems, so we should still actually be asking for the same provisions for folks that are formerly homeless, for other affordable housing programs, et cetera. So we should be still asking for them, because even though they were funded, we still have.
Not enough.
Exactly, not enough. And is that what we said, Roberta? Can you remind me?
Absolutely. So yes, that, and then we have advances in the individual problems that are being addressed by this funding. So for example, if you're talking about homeless services, you have an additional layer on homeless and social services that were brought in by having our kind of asylum seeker crisis. And so it's the same ask, but there's a new impetus for making that ask. And so that's the way we might decide to frame that.
And also the reason why is, you know, how we had the top 5, it was reflective of what we heard throughout the year at our committees as a concern. It also mirrored what we saw in our survey. So I don't know if that puts any.
All right, so you want to move up? I mean, the 1 and 2, we are okay with, right?
Yeah, we're gonna keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Roberta, do you have any comment? Keep 1 and 2.
It sounds
And
good.
three was about specifically in the Hudson Yards area,
Yeah.
because that is now really coming to
Right.
mind.
So that's
Yeah, that's the way. It may not stay that high. We have, I think, affordable housing is way bigger.
Yeah, so that one maybe we do drop.
I think we had put it up here because we were talking about safety and we didn't have any capital demand for
Correct.
safety.
That's right, that's right.
That's why we put it up.
We said we could reflect the survey as well.
Right,
too.
right. So it gives a sense of, you know.
We hear you.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that one's done.
Well,
Okay.
well, it's not, well,
4.
yeah, 4's done.
Floor's done.
Yeah, that's great. So this is now the,
Cruise ship.
no, technically it is, I think it's a DOE ask, it's Office of Technology for Wi-Fi in schools.
Yes,
Do you want to change that, Alan, or that's?
No, Wi-Fi for schools needs to go to, the new Office of Technology or something, not the DOE. That's the only change I see.
I know, so we had, I think maybe that was one of our sticking points, because we put into.
That's it, Mayor's Office of Media and
Yeah,
Entertainment.
we have to
It's
change
not
that.
DOE.
Oh, we
No,
haven't,
no,
we
no,
haven't.
no, Wi- no, no.
Saying it's-
Wi-Fi needs to go to, technology,
Do it?
yeah, not to,
No, okay.
the old do,
They all do it, which has a new name.
Yeah.
OTI or something like that.
Okay, right.
Why expand funding for this technology? Why is it coming to, oh yeah, office?
Did it-
That's what it-
I'm gonna, you know, what? I'm gonna go to ACES,
Yeah,
and
that's good.
is that that's the first app? I can go to the ACES, okay.
I got it. This is expand funds, no, this is,
What's your first category?
Apple is, bathroom.
Ah, we went from
That's
Wi-Fi to bathroom.
Bathroom where?
I think you should have Wi-Fi in the bedroom.
Yes,
I mean, they're all taking their, right?
you want to.
Bathrooms where?
So this is, can you guys see
This is
that?
number 6, actually.
Yep, well, this is
Technology, like this number,
expand the bathrooms is number one.
Mhm.
Number two is the security cameras, this is the new one. So we're gonna push down
Mhm.
the,
Can you explain what you just said? You're pushing which one now?
Wi-Fi because the committee, so you wanted,
I think it goes to 6.
well, right now, you just wanna, you wanna replace it with the upgrade to bathrooms, correct?
I think it'd be
Bathroom, yes.
maybe easier if you put the new stuff and just put
Yeah,
a
I
question
think that-
mark
Of where it goes?
next the old
Yeah.
ones, right? And then the old one, we can go back in the second
Well, I can
round.
always just push, I can
It's
always
just
add
a,
a row below. And just put it. Bathrooms, no, we don't have to keep it in this order, like we see, you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. It's a pain in the neck.
yeah.
I think we
Okay.
should do it for 10 things and that's it, Lisa.
Yeah, and then the same, and then
Okay. We know what that means.
yeah, I know what it is.
So the terminal shifts, EDC,
Right?
So this, I have news on this.
okay, what's the news?
So we kept it as our number one.
Okay.
In WPE?
In WPE, even though recently the EDC came out with a press release saying that they are going to put shore power in by 2028. They renegotiated with the cruise ship terminal, the cruise ships, the three major ones. We decided that, you know, it's not in until it's in,
Right.
and that we're just on the cusp of it, so obviously,
You keep it in.
we keep it in and we put it high. I mean, obviously, we would want to put it high, because obviously the banging the drum of what we've been doing has been working.
Well, that fits with the logic of every year. We,
Yeah.
things that we know are on the cusp and may have political
Sure.
will, you keep it high. So, yeah.
Well, that's good. So what's,
Department of sanitation was done, oh, this was
okay,
now let me go to, I don't think this is the. So is your first, Christine, for Department of Transportation?
yeah, I'm verifying, but I'm pretty sure that.
Yeah. Is that still okay with you?
It's just, yeah.
Yeah, capital, okay.
Yes,
Yeah, complete installation, I
Yes,
think
that's
I've
right.
modified the text, but because
I
some
think
of them got it.
we have it, it's just, for
Okay.
some reason, it's not
Yeah.
coming up in the Dropbox.
So I have a question, what's a gantry?
These are the overhead, thing that capture your toll.
That's what it's called.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
I had no idea that was the name.
yeah,
Okay, cool.
this is what's going on, you know,
Yeah,
on the highways,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the new ask.
I got 4 tickets from those in France.
Yeah,
They send it to you, New York?
Damn it,
No, it showed up as a bill to my rental car.
yeah,
Oh,
they did that
that's
now.
true.
And everyone's driving faster than me. I don't get it.
They all,
They knew,
They knew.
they knew it was you.
so do we want
You
to,
gotta kind of,
So the next one is relocate the 40 gantries, right? Yeah.
Yes,
Put it
yes.
in that
that's what
location.
you had as
I
your
think,
second,
yeah, I don't know whether you have anything else that should
yes,
be,
right here. Well, we have-
what is next?
This is just your list.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Transportation now.
Oh.
Just need it ordered.
Oh,
You just see the order to see what's,
all right, I thought you were
Okay.
into everybody. I have my order, I can tell you.
okay. So do we, since we have the top five, do we want to keep the top five, the two housing, right? police department, school bathrooms. Wi-Fi, I'm gonna push that down, don't worry about that, and, shore power. Or do we just said that we wanna push the police down, or do we wanna keep it, in alignment with what the survey said?
I think the police could go a little lower.
It could go lower because again, I don't think that specific ask is
It's not-
is directly related to our public
Right, right.
safety issue. And however, moving back up to the new item from the cannabis working group, just a
Yeah.
question, because
There it is.
I just want a little bit of clarification. So it's requesting funding to launch a secondary advertising
That's
campaign.
not
And I don't think
capital.
it's capital.
It is
Because
expense,
That's expense.
yes.
And I don't know that there is a related capital expense that I can think of, because we don't want to be asking for them to find a physical location or to build a dispensary, because we have an issue now, so
I don't think there is anything in capital.
I don't think there's anything capital
No.
that is, this is an expense.
So then we have 2 cannabis expense
Yes.
Yes.
requests, which is fine, but
Yeah.
just, okay.
But in terms of, if we're thinking about public safety, there really hasn't traditionally been anything other than asking for a physical building that's hit capital.
That's right.
Like, I think one year maybe we asked for additional, the little vehicles.
Yeah, we
But-
did, but I mean, what else
Yeah.
would we ask for,
No,
right?
so there's nothing appropriate.
I mean, we could ask for 3,000 iPad and 5,000 brains.
Right.
Yeah.
AI, but.
I mean, unless there is an overwhelming urge to reshuffle something
Can I
else.
take a look at what's at 7? I'm sorry, because I
Yeah.
can't remember, because I just wanted to see.
Yeah, slow down.
Yeah,
So 7 was done. It was, I think this was last year's. This was
the islands.
The islands.
Islands.
which I think is now your first ask, right?
Yeah. You could swap that with the police if you wanted to.
Yeah, we could put everything
Right.
up one if you
Yeah, and
want.
if we look, the number 10 is about the bathrooms. I'm wondering if we can combine that.
What do you mean, number 2? Oh,
Number 10 is about upgrading the bathrooms.
well, no, now, but it got moved as ACE's number 1.
I know, what I'm saying is combine 10, and so it's one complete ask about bathrooms for our schools. 10 is specifically about upgrading and replacing the student and the staff bathrooms. And
Well, now it's gonna move to the ACEs, it's this. This is the ACEs, I know what you're saying, this is the ACEs ask, that one is.
Right, because we're asking for specific
We're asking for
schools.
specific ones
Yeah.
now.
right, what I'm saying is
You don't
10
need-
is
you don't
asking the same thing without the specifics.
Right,
That's-
you don't need that one, that's
That's all,
unspecific.
yeah,
Right,
that's
so
unspecific.
10.
It's a little repetitive.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
move up 10 to this one.
Yes, yeah, we're just combining.
We can say ask, this one just has a
I mean, unless there is a school where it's specifically a
Right there.
problem for the,
Yeah.
for the teachers, right?
These 3 schools.
Well, we did
Yeah, we
indicate,
have 4 schools, sorry.
yeah, we did indicate a particular school, 51, so that's in there.
Okay.
Yep, so we can just do the language of the ask. So how do we wanna go, let me go back to this one. How do we wanna go back, do we wanna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where is 1, 2, is this in order again, the housing? Right,
I think if you go
Or
to
no.
the bottom of that thing, there is NYCHA stuff.
Yeah.
And I think we need to move up
Okay,
some
yeah.
NYCHA
I'm gonna go
stuff,
to HHH.
considering how much time is being spent on Fulton and on everything.
I don't think this is the update, I don't think this is the updated night shot. Because we don't have the Dropbox version.
Housing Authority here, 11.
These are the elevators in Harbor View.
How are we doing on that?
How are we doing?
It's still not done.
So I think that's something that could move up.
Because I didn't have the,
Again, most of the issues that we have are in the expense side.
that's.
But the elevator is not,
Roberta,
right?
do you recall if we added any other capital at committee?
Yes, the only other capital we added was for Ryan Health. Ryan Health requested support to obtain an ultrasound machine as they have experienced additional needs related to prenatal care.
Hey,
That's
Nellie,
right, that's
I'm sorry, Nellie, can you do me a favor? In the Dropbox, let me,
Yes.
in the drop, I'm just gonna stop sharing for 1 second and see something.
Sure.
In the Dropbox, the HHHS, hold on, I'm just gonna, no, that's no. No. In the Dropbox, where I hope it's gonna come out, the HHHS specific requests. So do you see, remember when we had the list? What the problem was, for some reason, the full combined list that Jesse put in there was not coming out, but each of the committees was coming out. So if we do each of the committees, then Roberta and Dolores can at least see what does that make sense?
You mean the document I originally had up?
Yes, but the tabs were by committee.
Sure.
So I think that's gonna help us a lot.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'll open up the document again. You want the capital?
Please.
That's
So the rules, what do you think, the grades, the MTA grades in the street, do you think it's capital or expense? Because I am not sure.
I would think that that's capital because they would have to replace, it's
Right.
not a staffing,
Okay, so I need to take that and move it to the other.
unless
side.
you're asking for a study to.
No,
Then if you're asking for it outright,
yeah, we did,
then that's. capital.
Roberta, does that look right to you?
right,
Yeah, there's some that are a little iffy.
we did a full.
Remember, we did that 6 years ago as well, the walk.
This
through,
one?
did walk-
Yeah, Roberta, does that look right to you?
It's worse.
But no, and we sent it to them and they are.
Yes,
doing it
that's the
to Chelsea.
ultrasound, that's it, because that's a new ask, that was not from last year.
Kitchen.
Or it might have been, but I know it wasn't a lot there.
We might get a lot of new ones once they have to rebuild all that portfolio property.
So Roberta, what I
Oh, we
think
did
is happening here
But.
is the, or to everyone, what I think is happening here, this is the Dropbox. For some reason, all of the committee asks are updated and fine, and this is what
Right.
everyone, but when we go to the master list,
It's fine.
it disappears, poofs.
What do you mean it disappeared?
Like, remember, just to show, now, like, you click on where it says FY 24 expense request master,
Yeah, click on that.
click on it, look what happens.
Here it is.
Oh, go down though, no, but go down, see that all
Oh,
of a
that's
sudden,
the one here.
Yeah,
this is-
It's because all is not showing, I think all we have to do is expand.
No, it's not the flush.
No, it can't be. There is,
It's-
even if you expand, there is no 29 in the
Yeah.
third line.
It's not, for some reason.
There is something,
Okay, it was
That
just,
will happen.
there's something,
something
it's
happened.
called hidden, it's in the hidden, it's in the hidden.
There's something.
Yeah, we can go to the tab and do
So
unhide.
let's go to HHS again, I'm sorry, Nellie, I'm kind of directing you all over the place, but you see what I'm, Nellie, see what I'm talking about, I think.
It's
the
okay.
tab- Yeah, okay, good.
Okay, so we actually have a good amount of capital for housing needs.
And what about slaughterhouse? Did we?
We want to keep it in there because the response that came back from the agency was, we will look into this or something that, like, but it's
One
done,
of those-
right, it's done. So
One of those Alan,
No, but we
Alan
lost, they lost, I
responses.
mean, Joe was saying
More-
they lost
needs more study.
not a committee said it's done, but it
What do
doesn't.
you mean it's done?
No, Roberta, a committee, Joe was saying that the response from the agency made no sense because it was saying that they need to look into it or study. However, he was saying that slaughterhouse is a done deal.
But it's a done deal, but the developer doesn't have the money.
Right.
So what I'm suggesting is that we should be asking money to give to the developer, so they don't have to spend enough money, right? Apparently, the financial deal doesn't work anymore, let's put it this way.
But part of that related to the current market environment, and at least the discussion in committee, and I sort of remiss that Joe isn't here, but I'm happy to find the comment, was that it is related to the ability to finance. And I know that it makes sense, like, well, why doesn't the city simply put up capital money? But I think that is, that wasn't deemed to be the correct ask in this particular case. I'm happy to just circle back with Joe to confirm. But that was kind of where the committee discussion went.
So probably leave it as a placeholder where it is until we can confirm language that, that relates to asking for subsidy, the capital subsidy,
That's the subsidy, right,
which is what we asked in the beginning.
right.
Okay.
Okay,
So this is one of the few very specific asks, number 2 on this list that we received from someone in the community. And Roberta already
the
hit.
ultrasound.
Yeah, Roberta already specifically mentioned, it's very specific, it's for prenatal health, so I think because it's a very specific ask, and it's something that possibly, could
Can
be
happen,
funded,
right.
even if not by the agency, it could be something that maybe an elected picks up, that we keep it high
Okay.
on the list.
That sounds good. Do you know what I'm gonna do, Nellie? You and I are gonna tag team here. I'm gonna start sharing my screen. Because it's gonna have the full one, so people can see.
I don't think some people share it.
No, but. If I share my screen. I can stop sharing hers.
Look at you, Zoom master,
Like that?
Zoom master, I like it.
So, okay, so let's go. Number 1 and 2, are we, I'm gonna defer to the committee.
Yeah.
We keep that?
So I'm thinking, and Roberta, because I don't, this was not number 2 on our list that came out of committee. I'm wondering if we put the Ryan Health higher up.
That
Yeah.
was the question at the committee, was to keep it high because it is a very emergent request. It relates to the asylum seeker crisis specifically, and that it seemed like something that would have a better chance of getting funded than some of the other capital requests.
The ultrasound. So number 2 is the request for the Ryan Center. I think that we were already deciding to move police department down some.
So may I make a suggestion? This is always so complicated every year, but is there a way to take all of the individual and merge them, and by picking one from each? So say,
In
okay,
the order of.
yeah, one of transportation, I mean, one from each.
Just like the top
One of
5.
one of each, right? And then we put everything together, and then we look at it and say, oh, no, this isn't good. As an exception process.
I get it, because we might find that, okay, yes, the number 1 WPE is number 1.
Right. But then the only thing.
Like ultrasound, we would put as number 2.
And the only thing we would be resolving is issue between committee,
Right.
rather than,
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Well,
it's just-
we
I mean,
have
it's,
that
I mean,
in capital, we have what, 4 more on the list?
oh, if we have 4,
No,
then that's
we have
fine.
a bunch of capital,
But some are gone.
but yes, but I mean, and some of them are just gonna keep, it's
Right,
kind of
being
like
there.
what we did last year. Remember, we did the top 5, and we rotated the next top 5, and then go through the committee.
I personally would put right now all the housing stuff at the top,
No, I agree.
all of it.
But not but this one was not, so this one I'm taking off, right? Not taking off, but
We're moving lower.
moving lower.
This one, the number 2?
Yeah,
Yes,
because the new number 2 is gonna be the Ryan Center.
Oh,
but not,
yeah.
but not the number 2 overall. You're not, the HHS number 2 is the right, I mean.
No,
it's-
we are.
I think it's number.
You think ultrasound, so I'm just saying, because I'm devil's advocate.
That's what I'm
Because
saying, is that
ultrasound
it's
is gonna-
merged, but we can see it. Right now, we can't even see it.
Well, I don't know if I can do
Yeah.
that fast, but I'll.
No, but
There's
I'm
a way that there's a.
Oh, I don't know if there's a
formula
formula.
that we're doing it.
Right.
I think this is what I think we can do. We know this is gonna be number 1, right? It's gonna stay as number 1. The number 2, we'll wait for a second on HHS is number 2. But the number 1 for, was police department. That was the number 1, which we said we're gonna move down. The number 1 for ACEs.
No, I was just saying, I'm sorry, I was just saying, let's take all the housing stuff and move them to the top. Because everybody's saying housing is really important.
And it's capital
And
anyway.
the safety is, the police department, having a police department is not going to
So what
create
was
that
that?
much safety, so we can move it
So
down.
I can do. Nelly, I'm sorry, we're gonna switch again. Can you put up HHS again? And just, take over my screen share, because we wanna see what is under ultrasound. Because we're expecting that to be a housing ask, because, so even though it's ultrasound is your second, the third might not, skip it, is that okay? If it's a housing ask? Is
It's
that
gonna
what
be,
you're saying?
it's gonna be the first one going to that agency anyway.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Which we have. Okay. Nellie, can you hear me?
Yes. I'm sharing the screen. Can you see it?
No, he was still sharing yours. There you go. All right, perfect.
So what Christine said is valid, is that to move the housing stuff up, ultrasound is not a housing thing.
No,
You know what I mean?
right,
But we understand.
Yeah, so,
So then that's keeping just everything in the
so we're
same
keeping
order.
the same order,
Capital stuff, right?
correct?
And then we also had an additional request for the Ryan Center, which is the number 6 on this list. If you could scroll a little bit down, Nelly, thanks. Which was, they actually need physical space.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah, so 1 and 2, we're keeping the same, 3, we're switching up because it's police department, we're gonna push that down. So the next number 1s are school bathrooms, are the transportation S, and then the shore power. So it's probably gonna be one of those 3 as into the 3rd spot. And I'll let you guys discuss.
Well, what I have in request was to installation of island, which is for safety.
That's right, that was your first one.
And I had to relocate the 40 congestion pricing gantries,
Yes.
which is where.
That's
Those are
what-
the 2 things that I have. Relocating the gantries is not really a safety, but it drives everybody nuts, so. We can put that lower.
So I have your first, as you just said, do you wanna do the complete installation of the islands?
Yeah, because anyway, that's going to different agencies, right? So, and then you can put the
Yeah.
shore,
Yeah.
the
Shore
shore,
power.
shore
Yeah.
power.
Oh, wait, so we're putting transportation islands number 3 overall? Is that what you're,
Overall,
Yeah.
no, you have all the housing first.
there's, well, we're not gonna, oh, you wanna put all of these?
Yeah. Yeah,
It's capital, it really, in the order of capital doesn't matter as much as
Right.
expense.
right,
Yeah.
That's gonna be a tough sell, I think,
at the tool.
to CB4 that, how many capital requests you guys have?
4 that are housing related.
So they are in there.
So you wanna go 1, 2, 3, 4 for housing and then push everything down?
Yeah, at
Okay.
least.
Okay,
But
that's
you have
right.
6 for, right. I mean, to me, people say we need housing, we are concerned about the homeless is about housing, right? To me, this is the biggest problem we have.
Let's do it.
The only thing that I would say is maybe we just break up with the ultrasound request, because
Right.
that's something that can.
Yes.
No, I know she's talking about housing, she's talking about like.
No, but problem plugging that.
So the first,
Top 4 will be your housing, the big house, number, on the master list, the top 4 will be the housing. So then we're going to number
Which
5,
is the ultrasound.
ultrasound.
5 will be ultrasound.
And then,
But wait a minute, hold on, guys, so we're gonna put like over like all the Department of Education asks and the shore power, we're gonna put ultrasound machine, or you're comfortable with that?
your call.
So here's a
No.
question, shore power, we think that is politically hot and doable because of this meeting? So that's always what's important is putting.
So you put it next.
Well,
Right.
they're moving on that improvement.
Yeah, they're combining it. It was the same, yes. they're-
So move it
So
up,
it's moving.
and it's quality of life,
Mhm.
air quality, all that stuff, right?
That's helpful too.
Yeah.
Okay. Roberta, are you okay? Can you hear us? You can hear us, right? You okay with that?
Yep, that reflects our discussions and our kind of committee understanding. Makes sense.
No, I mean, putting it after those top 4 housing. And then, so then I guess the next thing would be.
Put
Bathrooms?
one transportation, oh no, you wanted to put the bathroom?
We can
No,
always-
the
up to you
transportation
guys.
for the safety for the corner,
You guys do it out.
for the,
Whoever wins in that corner.
for the
So
island.
remember, the request for the bathrooms is gonna be the first one going to DOE.
Anyway.
Yeah, and that's why in that respect, but I like what Christine's saying
That's
because
the-
about the
yeah.
narrative is matching our survey,
Mhm.
right? The narrative is saying, we
Yes.
said housing, we said safety, and these are the top things.
Okay, so 5 is shore power, Are we gonna push the police ask all the way down and public safety
Yeah.
with, yes?
Yeah, because again, it's one of those things.
Everybody is-
And we'll concentrate on expense.
Thing is not going to change anything.
Yeah, they're not gonna make ever.
Yeah, I don't think this is, and we've been asking for 15 years, so, you know. There is no.
We'll be dead and buried before.
Yeah.
The island is something.
But the island
is
is something
relation.
really.
Hey, why don't we do the island before the, why don't we do island, right? Is that, all you guys, okay.
You owe me two.
So Roberta, I guess
Right.
we're gonna, recognizing that the top ask to DOE will still be school, the bathrooms, we're gonna put that, it'll probably be 7 then.
Mhm.
4,
Yeah.
5, 6, and ultrasound is,
We'll put that somewhere in the middle.
so you're gonna, of the habit. Okay.
Freaking ultrasound.
I know, it's a little weird, I was saying the ultrasound is kind of just like a very.
Well, they
This
said
is
this.
just interesting.
The
isn't it?
well, what they described the committee was, this is an area that they have 0 services because our community did not need
Mhm.
these types of services, and with the influx of migrants within the community, massive amount of OBGYN needs. Massive amount, and also pediatric needs, and these are things that they just
They
did not
couldn't
have
address.
any.
And it's, I think it's an easy catch too, like if we put it, it's an
Yeah.
easy, hopefully, it's an easy win.
And we should mention migrant, is that,
Yeah.
which agency should that go to? If this is migrant, does it go to a separate place? To the mayor's office or something and something?
Is there a department?
So Roberta has,
Roberta, go ahead.
The request, we had this discussion in committee, the request is meant to go to the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. But there, it will likely, you'll see this thread throughout the narrative about the migrant crisis, and so that might like come into play elsewhere as well.
So did we settle on a space, on a place for them? For the,
She said she's just gonna put it somewhere in the top 4, right? You're just gonna put it in the middle.
is that what you said? No, I'm just asking.
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever you guys think, yeah.
I'm not arguing
She
anything. I
doesn't
just
know
want to
where,
know where is it,
where is it?
so that we don't go back to it 50 times.
so here's what I would suggest, because it is, you're right, it's difficult to see.
Right.
Why don't we, when we're able to get the full list,
Here, I'll share mine, I'll share.
you
Then
have,
we can
you
send,
have your notes, and then what we can do is to say,
right,
this is the spirit of what we talked about
Yeah.
in task force. Is everybody okay
Yeah.
with this?
right, and then you send it around, and then everybody's.
Now can you stop sharing for 1 minute?
There you go.
Okay, so this is what we're doing. 1, 2. This is just a visual, add a row below. This is when I really wish Jesse was here.
I know, Jesse's good at this.
He's like, blah, blah, blah. So I'm gonna do housing,
Yeah, we talk and then it happens.
and then it goes. Housing, so
Right.
the 4 housing are gonna be there, and ultrasound is one of those, right? Is,
Yes, from the committee, yes.
okay, so what's which one do you want it, so we can put it in, does it matter?
I think we don't need to decide exactly now until we actually have the
Okay,
sheet merged.
okay,
Well,
Because it is going to a different, it's going to a different agency.
so police, you're going to move
We're
down.
moving down.
okay, so now up here is, sure.
Shore power, and then,
That,
The island,
the
but the
islands.
islands are right there.
and the islands right after, right? And then,
Yep,
Oh, where are they?
no, I'm just gonna write it.
yeah,
I have the narrative, I'm just gonna cut and paste
Got
your.
islands,
Mhm.
and then bathrooms.
You see, islands there.
Your.
And then bathrooms.
I see it.
Okay, so then are we missing anything blatant?
Let's keep going down.
You can even push,
Well, now, so.
We did that, we did the cruise,
So,
push the cops down even further.
let's keep going now.
so, well, we can't, because, so the next Department of Transportation is gantries.
Yes,
The next, ACES. Is the security cameras.
Security ban.
We got in a few, right? And then we have to specific
Yeah, we have specific ones. Some of these might even be on its way being constructed already,
But we have to do the specific one that don't have it, that needs to,
yeah.
and then WPE's was,
Somebody might have already funded it.
DeWitt Clinton,
Mhm.
which we've been asked. And that was actually Parks, they gave us a list.
And we
And I had their
and that
first.
shows where it was originally, it's number 9 on the top one.
Yes, correct.
What's the number 19?
That
This is WPE, we're looking at WPE right now.
Yeah.
I'm just going through so I can tell you guys the next asks from all the committees. And then, HHS we kind of covered. So if we want to go back to the master. I apologize because I don't have what she had, what is it?
Let's go down a little bit.
So,
Just keep going down so we see what's going on.
but what I'm saying, hold on, so after bathrooms, right? It's either probably gonna be the gantries, the security cameras, or DeWitt Clinton, because those are the top 3.
We should put
From
that
there.
over.
Well, no, gantries is not.
But you don't think gantries is something that needs to be?
It needs to be done and it's MTA, so it's not really, the target there, right?
Okay.
And then
I
I
don't think
think
the schools, because
there are school is more important and security,
security cameras.
or you're gonna want to do security first because of safety, right?
School,
Yeah.
school cameras.
And we know they're installing them in certain ones, so
Right.
it might give it
So
a.
security, right, and then you can go to school, what was the other thing?
The other one is technology.
Oh, Wi-Fi, asking, no.
No, we are moving it down.
Hold on.
It's still sitting there, but we're moving it down.
No, the third one for ACES was the
The third one was Columbus.
the library, that
Library.
has no roof.
Oh,
We've been, I know, it's been the bane of our existence.
What are they doing in this library?
They
There's
want
a-
something.
every year, there is something else which costs about 4 million.
Yes, it's crazy. But that's what we pushed it up. Remember Jesse was saying to push it up. I think he was saying that, could be wrong. Roberta, any comments? I don't want to lose you on Zoom now. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
Well, so
transportation was
You need
gantries.
the gantries somewhere, right?
Okay.
so let's put, if Jesse thinks that we should be.
I put
looking
DeWitt
for
then,
schools.
DeWitt Clinton then, right? After,
Oh, wait.
is that okay? After the security cameras?
We want to upgrade that part.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the camera after that, the gantries after that.
Gantries after that. Boy, sorry, NYPD.
Again, it's an ask that we put because we
We
want
put it-
to
want to
make sure that
reflect,
they're
yes.
understanding that we have an entire new community coming online, and we don't have all the services needed.
Right.
It's not something that we will get, but we just need to let them know that.
So the gantries we're going to get.
Yeah,
We sent some letters, pretty aggressive letters.
Yeah, it needs to start at 50th Street.
What? Or 57.
No, it needs to start at 50th.
I visited 60th Street.
I know you said that when you did the walk.
What
It's really not,
a
it's
mess.
not the right street.
Okay, guys, we're done with top 10.
Yeah,
Okay,
That's pretty good with capital.
then you can tumble everything else,
Okay.
you know.
I do want to go over just so the next, I don't think, I think, did Clue or? No.
Department of Sanitation, is that capital budget?
Yeah, there's nothing in Clue, I just wanna,
why did that come out of Clue though?
I don't know, I think that's, I don't know why.
And I think we might have had something in land use, the land use for house.
Yeah, I don't think it's in hers,
Okay, so what is
slaughterhouse. It's the old one.
Yeah,
Right, but is
these
it,
are all continuing support.
So she has, but Nellie, I'm gonna ask you one more time for my tag team partner here.
oh wait, block 5, 6 down there? It's
No,
gone.
this is old.
Oh,
So that's why she has the.
right,
Because Jesse and I were working on, I had you, I had me, I had ACES,
It's a
and he had
mess.
the.
It's
he
a
had the-
nightmare.
And it didn't combine in the Dropbox.
So you stop sharing.
I'm gonna stop sharing.
Right,
So
so
we're
it's software.
gonna,
So Nellie?
Entire H.
There you go, she has it.
French. I initiated, and most of the people that are in could speak French, sometimes I said that, I'll speak to language.
And then we'll go to Chelsea, so those were,
Could you
Those
make
are
it a
expense.
little bigger?
They're all expense.
Oh, those are
expense. They're all
We need
expense
to
because we didn't have capital there. That makes sense. We didn't have capital.
No capital.
I just wanted to check.
double check. Okay, we're good. You know what?
Well, we're not doing expense tonight.
No, she wanted to check if there was any capital.
There was any capital in,
Or I have to go get a drink and.
Oh, we're doing expense.
we figured better way to do it. though.
Yeah.
No, you need to merge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so the top 10, we ended up with gantries, and I just wanted to double check. I'm gonna start sharing my screen now again, because I have the updated versions of.
All right, we're done with capital, yes?
Well, we have 10.
When you're done.
I thought we're keeping
Did you
everything.
put Columbus there?
What?
Did you put Columbus in Columbus Library?
Number 11.
Everything else can get filled in however it falls in.
This is the easy, you guys are easy on me for the last
We are.
one. There's no,
Well, I mean, I think all of us have done this long enough to know that because of the new way that that each agency will
Get their-
in their list.
Then you don't have a problem.
Yes,
The
we all-
overall list should reflect, as you say, what the
Yeah.
community said.
Either they're gonna do it or they,
yeah,
right?
right.
Basically.
So I think.
They will pick their own priorities.
You know, when I first did this, like 2 years ago, when I started, Jesse said, you just didn't get like that. So you know, they're always in there fighting, and now this is like, we have cakes, we're doing this is easy, we're cutting.
Yeah, Christine, you normally bring your candies.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
I've cut down on
I
the.
think what we are deciding
See this piece of chocolate
is
here.
we're gonna refer to the separate committee tops and just shuffle them in. Do you know what I mean? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for the most part, unless they're.
Oh, you mean 1, right?
Yes, but I mean,
That's what you
in the
mean.
master, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is gonna be the tops.
Tops of those committees.
I mean, we already did top
Yeah.
11. And then after that, we're gonna get whatever the next one.
Right.
I'll send this out before it
Whatever.
goes to.
So
Whatever.
my understanding is it was only 22 total, right?
I didn't catch it this time, but 24th Street.
The master.
Yes.
The what?
The master that as a budget.
No, because look how many we have for WCD alone, these are all capital assets.
Susan, you want this?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, these are all capital.
Oh, for some, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
math.
But, you know, we prioritize them, I mean, these are the aces priority assets.
There.
We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you know what I mean? So they're just gonna fill the box on that,
Okay.
fill the bottom of the jar. Roberta, do you hear what, you got it, right?
Right.
Okay, I know, I think
Because they should really.
Nothing else.
Rodney, I don't know if he might not still be on, I can't see. Nellie, is Rodney still on, or anyone from the public that wants to talk, since I'm just gonna take a natural break here, because that was our capital. But if anyone wants to come in, I think this would be a good time to kind of,
Rodney, one of our new members is on in.
he was.
Rodney's
I think
great.
so.
Rodney is still on, but I don't know. He doesn't have his hand raised, so I don't know if he wants to comment.
Okay. Okay, so
So
Rodney,
probably eventually cover
He's
some.
Only attending.
he's the only, oh, his hand is up.
Yep, his hand is
Yes,
up.
let's bring him over.
Yay.
Rodney Washington.
Okay, hold on one second, Rodney.
Yeah, I had a.
Oh,
Should bring him. Hi, Rodney.
Hi, everyone. I am a concerned citizen.
yes, I love it.
I really just wanted to observe, I think you guys did an excellent job. I learned the word gantry tonight, so this is a wonderful experience. Yeah, so
Bobby, are you on transportation?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I didn't discuss that.
Right.
I don't know if I was paying attention for that. So. Yeah, you caught me on that one, but again, I just want to say you guys are doing a great job. I'm actually about to hop off and do some other work, but again, I was really just, trying to gain as much knowledge about the process as I could. So again, great work. I'm enjoying my community board experience.
If you're trying to get knowledge on the process, just erase the first 20 minutes.
Okay, no, it was good. It's good.
End of the meeting, and then we'll be fine.
Okay,
Thanks,
no.
Rodney.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good night, everyone. Good job, though, really.
That's funny, you're going to gantry, you know what's wrong.
Everybody say, oh, gantry.
All right, so
He's
I'm
such
gonna
a
stop
good guy.
sharing and Nellie, can you go to, let's let's see how this goes.
Expense.
If we go to expense, I will also go to one. Let's see.
Okay.
that.
usually takes forever.
I thought it was always capital that was
No, not most easy, because you're gonna.
Because expense was super long and everything is in there.
Okay.
Yes, we have every single study for this, study for that.
Okay, I'm just gonna open mine up too, just in case it's funky again. See, look.
So you work it out, it's in here too.
So the expenses, we could do the same thing, which is like, you know,
No, right, scroll down for a minute.
well, we should have two cannabis there, right?
Yes, exactly, we're adding the new cannabis.
Is that it there? Don't we have, oh no, you have to add the second.
So apologies, now you were on a different tab before.
No, this is this crazy town where there is
It's
nothing.
not, nothing.
Yeah,
Mine
so
too.
you-
Mine are.
Jesse gave me two different documents, one for capital, one for expense. This is the expense document, so I switched to a different document.
So what the problem, no, yeah, it's not what the problem is, for some reason, all of the committees are in there, like
Yeah.
individually, the new asks. What is not showing up in the one he sent us is the combined where it says, yes,
Yeah.
that, for some reason, when we,
Right,
and we were working on the combined list for the last 2 weeks, so.
technology is.
So I have a question here, just since we have to submit this for exec, and that's not this Monday, it's the following Monday, is that correct?
No,
No, this one.
no, it's,
Same
no,
thing.
No, exec is this Monday.
no.
Yeah,
Yes,
This is-
exec
No,
is
no,
on
no,
Monday.
it's, it's Tuesday the 24th. So this is coming up Tuesday.
Oh, okay, same
Yeah,
thing.
why is it Tuesday?
Because Monday must be
Must
something.
be something.
just busy.
Just to say, I'm not
But
doing
it's
it.
this week.
Yeah, that's
So
ridiculous.
this-
Why, what we-
Well, my suggestion was gonna be is I think by having established the idea of matching the narrative with our needs.
23rd is Monday.
Is that what we could do is take a look at the full lists that we all have, or, you know, that original list. Do a
Vote.
yeah, just, you know, and I think maybe almost, I don't wanna say separately, but I think maybe if each of us puts in a suggestion of what we feel really strongly about, that should be in a specific order. Otherwise, we're literally just moving up housing and moving up safety to those top spots. And as we know, the rest will go to those agencies in the order of the committee.
Yeah, and we just need to figure a way to merge them, which would, I would say one from each.
Right.
Yeah,
And that's it.
So I guess, folks, for the purpose of, because it's really difficult for us to go through all of this in this manner right now.
yes.
But for the purpose of us all being here, we have a couple of new requests. Maybe we look at the new ones.
Okay.
Just the new ones, does that make sense? So
Yeah.
we have two cannabis. So the first one was asking about advertising.
I'm gonna share mine, hold on 1 second, I'll do mine.
Exec is Monday.
And then we should call,
Monday, 23rd.
we should call that the PSA education campaign rather than advertising.
Yes, exactly. It should be public public service announcement.
Right.
Yeah. Advertising is the wrong word. It's so funny. I was at a meeting at work and
So these are the
people keep using
three.
words like manipulate, and they keep using words like I'm like, we shouldn't talk about this in this term. You can say the same thing, but use a different word.
Okay, so guys, these are the new ones. There's the MLI, that's the e-bike one that you forwarded to us, Christine, that's gonna be the new one that,
I have another new ones. I have two new ones.
so this is yours. If you can see my
Oh,
screen,
these are
this
all
is your.
mine.
these are the
Oh,
new
okay,
ones.
I'm
These are
sorry,
new.
yeah. So the first one is the same as before, the second one is the same as before. Oh, no, the second one is a brand new one.
The neck down, I'm trying.
Yeah, this is the block that came ask us help, so this is it. And then.
The sidewalk study.
Sidewalk, we have that. The traffic from the northbound Dyer Avenue, I think it was there before, but it is important. And then the bike corral, which is the other, your favorite subject, ladies.
Yeah.
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 Have you been up to Torrey?
No, I have been everywhere.
Yeah, she's.
43rd and.
Well, that, that's actually a little different. What we have in our area is, because we now have fast food alley.
Yeah, well, that's what we do too.
And
43rd and between 43rd and 44,
they've added all those fast food places.
they
It's like,
have,
well, it's like a.
there's a whole
But
block.
they have their whole families there. What's up by us, it's literally almost like gangs of.
No, we don't have families. We don't have the guys. We just have the guys.
Okay, because I remember I walked through and I saw like the kids hanging out.
Oh, that's on 8th.
Oh, that's not
eight.
eighty.
That's not.
Okay.
That's not.
On 9.
They're on site,
Something,
oh, 'cause
yeah.
now we're like, now
Between
it's all, yes,
42nd and 43rd, so the
Yes,
police
yes.
has put
yes.
barricades, it's just.
Did they really?
Mhm, mhm.
Not
Police has put barricades, probably one of the stores complained.
Mhm.
They put- Anyway,
Yeah,
it's a little crazy, but anyway, so this is new, and then what do we have else which is new?
So I'm gonna ask, considering we have all these problems, that would you have any objection of putting that request much lower down? Only because, we're trying to solve for some of the other congestion issues that we have in the area that is supposed to be for a bike lane and supposed to be for a pedestrian walk. Do you have an issue of putting, because we had so many people mentioned during the, public session about the concern of the letter of adding corrals.
Well, they're all fairly low in this list, right? It is number, I don't
So
know.
it's number 5 on transportation, so it would probably be like number.
Yeah,
25
it's
or
going to be
28.
way down there.
Anyway.
Okay, as long as,
It's way down.
as long as, you know, because again,
Once it
I'm
shuttles
thinking
out.
about public perception.
No, I got it, but it's way down there, you know? And then I have the subway grades, I have the subway, did we put the subway
We have it right
grades?
there.
It's here, it's right below.
So we need to put it on capital, right? Is that what we said?
That's what we just talked, sorry, we had a
Oh,
sidebar.
sorry.
Subway grades is actually capital with us.
Right. And because it goes to a different agency, it can be at the bottom, I don't care.
Right, because it's going to MTA. which-
Right.
Hold on, time out, it's going to MTA state.
I know, but I'm just always putting everything
Okay.
to capture it and have it.
And not only that, we fill it in the narrative, like I can.
Yeah, but no one's gonna look at it, unfortunately.
Well, we
State.
send it to the state. and
But we'll
say-
yell at William Siegel and Simone.
Under traffic studies. So we have the request for, the M11. Well, we want to make it better.
Sooner?
Yes,
It could die out there.
yes, and do it on 10th Avenue. So we're asking for 9 and 10, which
I would love to see the bus go.
Yes.
Higher. It's not.
So they just told me, MTA just told me that they are redoing their Manhattan network. So that will give us the opportunity to
Like they're gonna switch up the lines and everything?
stops, lines, everything.
Really?
Yeah, they have done that in the other districts.
That's gonna be.
That's huge.
That's huge.
Change. I think the last time I remember a huge change was they changed the 104 bus,
Yeah.
which
Well,
was
considering the,
terrible.
Yeah, but that's what they do, they redo for each district, they do a plan and then.
you're gonna be hands full.
I know, just like that, not anything else.
So, yeah, I also wonder, I'm wondering if we were to put the bus request, even though we know there's some changes, a little higher up, because
Yeah, but
everybody
it's
have
not happening.
not happening. Do you think that's less of a possibility than a study? That's what, excuse me, sorry, the resurfacing?
Yeah, and yes,
Ready to resurface.
and the resurfacing is low because I have something else before
Got it,
that I want to happen, and the resurface is a plan B.
got it. Okay,
Okay.
so we'll just keep everything in this order.
Yeah, if you could. that'd be
Yeah.
great.
And then, let's go to these.
And then, as you say, when it's merged, it's going to be at the end of the bottom,
So this is the, ACEs,
It says,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the new, the after-school programs, I think became big
yeah.
just for
Mhm.
getting kids off the street and like getting them paid, and
That's good, right?
that's a good one, and right, that we were talking about Ellen, how it helps
Mhm.
in the
But is
future.
it, what, are we going to get it or not?
So here's a question for you
It's
guys.
expand funding, so it's always
This is gonna be the first one that's going to, this is gonna be the first one that will go to DYCD. This will be the first request. I'm wondering if perhaps we put our sanitation request above it. Only because that'll be higher up on the overall list. And, sanitation concerns, cleanliness has been consistently articulated across the last 4 years as a problem. Did you think that there might be an issue, Alan, with, flipping those two in your order for your committee?
No issue for me. No.
No, it's fine.
Okay, so we put.
Right, so that's the good year.
Is that, yeah, and it will also go with our narrative.
And you know what?
Because it has to be all over that
The
narrative.
nice thing is then that first request is sanitation and you have two that
Yeah.
are directly related to youth.
Mhm.
One to DOE and one to DYS.
Yes.
I'm just writing it down so I can put them.
Okay,
All right, and then we don't have to, we can go down. We don't have to.
You
And
don't
then
have to
W-
go one by one.
Exactly.
hold on now,
Oh,
I'm
sorry,
sorry to ask again on another one to move up. So our next one is the technology, the laptops, but after that it's expand the ESOL program to the city shelters.
Mhm.
I'm wondering whether or not there's any discussion in committee about, whether, or that being a priority, because right now, our schools have a massive amount of Spanish speakers.
Mhm.
We'll look up
and
two,
not enough.
look up two. It's expand funding for bilingual educators.
Oh, so it's in two,
So,
so one.
One is in the city shelter, no,
Oh,
the city shelters, and then the top one is into the schools,
Okay,
where
so,
the kids are.
so I guess what I'm asking is if we can move also in the city shelters a little higher up and flip that into technology, I don't know whether or not there's a conversation that happened in ACES on that.
Well,
Yeah,
now
that's
chicks
true.
will be used to learn.
True.
The language.
Technology can be used.
If you buy all this software, you can learn.
The reason why this is.
Considering the response we get from DOE and technology, probably won't get anything from them anyway, so you might as well move shelters up.
But the reason why expand funding to maintain student technology, that was a direct ask from the superintendent, because when we met with him, they gave us their
Oh,
priorities.
okay.
And it was like, one of the, right, wasn't it, one of the.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, no, but I just realized that the request for the expansion of ESOL is going also to DYCD, it's not going to DOE.
Correct.
So if we do.
That's
that,
fine,
It
it's
won't make a
separate,
difference,
right.
it'll still be the next thing we ask for DOE
Yeah.
and the next thing we ask for DYCD, so
So
it
We
doesn't,
can keep it. right?
it doesn't matter, I was thinking, keeping together, we talk about migrants with the Board of Ed,
Yeah.
and then we talk about the same
In the shelter.
issue of the shelters, and then the next is technology, which is.
So I think, and just so you know, the technology one is the main, what they're finding is they have the stuff, but then it breaks down.
They don't
There's
have,
there's no,
there's no,
and
and there's no budget.
Exactly, like it's hard to, they ticket, it's a whole different thing. Okay, I'm just gonna run to WPE. And this really is the same as we had last year, and it was in conjunction with what Parks did, it's more park staff, more park security, the cap officers.
Yeah,
Yeah, playground associates, unless someone and then, listen, then we
well,
go
this is a
down,
new one.
green thumbs, like staff, it's very small, so they're on the bottom, that and forestry. Which I know Christine, like, it's the pruning of the trees,
Yeah, but they never, prunings every 7 years.
we had that in there,
And,
it's on a 7-year rotation.
Yeah.
Are you
So-
asking them to plant more trees more often?
So,
Because everybody's talking about, the million trees again, this and that.
I checked notice, but they actually have, there are new tree pits that have been put in certain blocks that
That's
actually.
area. That's area culture.
and also I think Mark
And-
Levine, isn't the borough
Yes,
president?
but what I've also seen is before they've actually done the cuts, there's been these little, like almost stickers that are saying a tree is coming.
Yes,
So we're seeing them, they're doing it.
yeah, but I think Eric is doing that. I mean, I don't think.
Oh, you don't.
Not the
think it's
city,
coming
not the
from
park.
City.
I think Eric is as a program, and he's doing that directly with the trust, the trust, whatever.
He has a line of funding for that, so maybe
So-
that's something we ask Jesse to find out whether or not there is still budget. for
And
the
more,
trees
and
program.
creating more. It's
I'll
not,
ask Steve
it's
Simon.
not enough.
He's the chiefest, I'll ask Steve. you go. I'll call Parks tomorrow. Perfect.
It's not enough
Yeah,
to make it dance. You know what I'm saying? If you are planting 1, 2, 3. We need volumes coming in.
we'll put it on our agenda item.
Last year, we asked for funding to litter vision.
Literally, yes.
I don't know, who's going to fund that? Outside, except for the electeds.
Who do we have?
So here's the interesting
Lady's
thing.
not gonna give them money.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is that Litter Legion is not even a nonprofit.
No, it is
now.
It is now. She did it fine.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. I didn't realize that she got it done.
Yeah.
But that's.
So
the
here,
thing.
it's going to DSNY, kind of like, I think they do have a consult, like a.
But you would.
They provide these, they provide supplies, they don't supply.
But that's not the way it works. You apply to Eric,
Right,
and then Eric
those,
You know,
goes
that's
to the agency.
It says.
And say, okay, of my decision about $1 million, I want 5,000 to go
Yeah.
to these people.
Yeah,
And then she applies with the contract and all that nonsense.
so should it stay here, or she should just be advocating at every.
but there is an opportunity for an agency, to contract out in some ways, like certain things, like I.
Yeah, like they did
That's what I'm
that.
saying.
They
Yeah.
did that for the, for 45th Street, when we checked that.
Right,
So they did a PO and all that stuff,
so we
But
can
you know-
remake the request to DSNY.
but there has to be a project.
Well, her project is cleanup
I don't know
and
that.
education, the education she's been providing.
Well,
is-
let's not spend a lot of time on it, it's so far down.
Needle pickup, it's needle pickup, and
So
we
that's
just,
the interest.
Well, we have, that's on our agenda for, in November. WPE, like, the syringes is like a lot of stuff.
I think it still should go to DSNY though.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's on there.
so we're okay with the order of everybody on WPE?
Yeah, it's abatement, WPE,
Roberta,
transportation.
anything on your end, as we rattle away and? No?
Okay, so I just wanna mention before, and I know, I do wanna look at, because Nelly, before we switch though, you have the two, land use and HHHS. We do wanna look at those, but in a second, the reason why. Do we wanna prioritize the NYPD and the two cannabis asks, and you know what I mean, like how far on the total list do we?
Well, here's my thing, I know that Midtown South, Community Council precinct has, it's like 100% narcotics is what the issue that they have, right? So that's one thing. Midtown North, because we've solved for a lot of problems further north, everything that people have been talking the last few months have been illegal bikes, bikes on sidewalks, and the cannabis shops. And I think a massive problem, as you know, is that everyone thinks because we just allowed for dispensaries to get their licenses, that every single one of those pot shops is legal. And so that is a major problem and people are really concerned. So that I know that that's what I'm hearing. It hasn't really come to the board as much. I don't know that we've had people coming to the board.
Well, I think cannabis task force is the can building a lot of.
But I mean, actually, people come into public session to talk about these issues, with the exception of the folks that came to transportation.
But I think that if we put all the housing and then the police issues, that definitely reflects
What we're hearing.
what we are
Yeah.
In
hearing.
expense now.
Yes,
Yeah.
even the
So
expense.
we're gonna put the.
You put all the stuff which is about, health support, supporting health, supporting, not health, I don't mean that, but
Yeah.
housing
Housing, right?
and supportive housing and,
Hold on one second, Nellie, I'm sorry, now, can you put yours up, with the housing, the HHHS, cause they'll have their new list. I'm gonna stop sharing.
what is this? Study to affect the effect of open restaurant, did I?
That's not even listed. Is that the new one for,
Yes,
that's the one Jesse gave you?
yes.
Okay. That's not-
Can you blow it up just a little bit?
Just a little larger for us, Nellie, please. Thanks.
Stop, right.
Is that good?
Perfect.
Yeah. Can you go up to number one now? I just want to see number one. There you go.
Homeless, yeah.
So you want to do still homeless outreach program? So guys, when we do that, we keep putting that as number one. And they keep saying it's funded, we're.
So I
doing
think this is
So
where.
either we switch up the.
So Roberta, we talked about this committee, it's about changing the language
Yeah.
to reflect, it's the same problem, but to reflect. Instead of saying impact of COVID, the other issues that
Yeah,
are
you have to
creating
change all that
conditions.
stuff.
Because right now, what we're seeing is a massive amount of folks that are sleeping on the street. That seem to have drug dependencies, which is very different from why we were seeing folks here during COVID. Is that what you recall, Roberta, that we wanted to just change the language to keep this up here?
Yes, so there are kind of two things there. There's that, there's the larger question or narrative surrounding like the asylum seeker crisis, and then the pressure that is put on the overall larger shelter system, which is, also created issues with street homelessness, as well as like the massive increases in rental inflation, which have caused further pressures for people to be evicted, displaced, and then inevitably homeless. So those are two unique pressures that we're kind of seeing in the post-COVID era.
Right, so, well, I guess,
But before you go on, so do we all agree that should still be number one with the caveat that we're gonna just massage that language is homeless outreach, or do we find another? Is cannabis something gonna?
I think
usurp
this,
that?
I think this is probably higher up in cannabis. Roberta, your
Oh,
thoughts?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But is there,
Helps to rework some of that language. I'm happy to work it with Maria, whatever is best.
I'll work with you. We'll do that offline. We'll get this all ready by next week. I'm not worried. Yeah. Okay, so number one will be the homeless outreach. Now, number two, do we put the e-bike enforcement number two to show that that's or do we put the cannabis as number two? Because those are gonna be,
no, but I mean, don't you want to put more housing stuff?
if
Like we did on Capitol, we did multiple housing stuff and then we did the
but
rest
it's
of
that,
it.
but when we say housing stuff, I don't know. I think affordable housing is a big issue,
Yeah,
but their second one is expand funding to Ryan.
well,
Chelsea.
number 4 is important, right?
Well, but actually, number three is probably more important, because we're losing housing stock because of that. So I see what you're asking, the little nuance between capital and expense and the narrative. The narrative, when we add up those two sections, the quality of life, and then separately, what was the separate section called, which is essentially quality of life. Trash cleanliness, and then if we looked at, even traffic issues. I think the bike thing is something that's probably a little bit more top of mind across not just Hell's Kitchen, but Chelsea. I mean, I don't know, what are your thoughts, Christine, what is becoming more?
Well, do you know what, I think sometimes we're a little esoteric, like, I think sometimes we're a little heady and like, which is good, and we put like, I mean, we have these, the home, like, these, affordable housing but then I think sometimes we need the boots on the ground problems that people like to see, like, we're asking for more e-bike enforcement, we're asking for trash cleanup, because people, this is filthy, and that's what we're seeing in the survey. Now, that's obviously, we have to, disseminate what we think is
When you look
important
at
in the proper way.
the precinct meetings, you're not talking about trash. Or, I mean, there wouldn't.
Yeah, that's
necessarily-
the problem, is that they
talk
talk about
right.
one thing,
They
right?
used to talk cars, now they talk bikes.
Right,
Right.
right.
Cannabis, that's.
No, a little bit of cannabis.
Spread out for what people are thinking or feeling is important to that. Well, I mean, housing too, but I don't.
No, I mean, how did you put it way up there? I have the feeling that people are really concerned about housing, we said that, right? And when we ask for capital, it's going to take forever
Yeah.
to show up.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think about what other things could be done to prevent people from losing their homes. And I think if we had 2 or 3 things up there, then we could talk about safety and the bike.
Do you want to flip that then?
Right.
That's what number 3 is your number 2.
Roberta's about to say something.
So I want to agree with Christine. I also do want to note, this is not to discount anything that comes out of the precinct council, but there's not the same forum that there is for, housing and homelessness issues as there are for street life and public safety issues. So I do think that, as the community board, we can kind of read between the lines a little bit, not discounting all of the safety and quality of life issues, but just understanding that you're never going to get that type of same comment related to affordable housing, despite the fact that I think it's rising to a very, very high need within the district.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Absolutely.
No one comes to council to talk about affordable housing.
Right.
Because they're there to yell at NYPD for not showing up.
Oh,
to
I have
the
the
next door.
homeless in the street, which
Yes.
are directly.
Related
Exactly.
to the housing,
Right.
right, again, yeah.
Okay, so let's go, so we're gonna keep number one, you said you wanted to flip the land number 3 to your number 2? You said, because it better reflects.
Roberta, what do you think about moving the Ryan Chelsea a little bit lower?
To reflect what Christine is saying about putting housing issues higher.
Yeah, I think that is, I think we're open to that. I think as long as that request is pretty high up, because I think it kind of ties into the larger narrative of, we are experiencing some of the great effects of the asylum seeker crisis, and that it's putting pressure on top of our existing asks. So you should fund our existing asks at an even greater level and consider these new ones. I think that it's sort of.
The purpose is it's gonna be the first one going to the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be the first on their list, so, yeah, so I think.
And then the housing authority, I think it's important, considering the context we have right now about night child.
Yes.
To show that the community board cares
About
about
night
night
child.
child.
Yeah,
And I think it's very important we have a message up there.
I agree.
So you wanna keep these as 1, 2, 3, 4 on the overall list?
No, well, I wanna, no, not on the overall list,
Okay.
because 2 we're moving down a little bit, right?
What's on the overall list? Oh, we don't have the.
Yeah, we don't have the overall list, but I think just we're reordering housing, health and human services because we're thinking about what the entire list looks like.
Right, but I just don't wanna lose, I just don't wanna lose the expand funding for after school programs, which directly relates also to the migrants and, you know what I mean, I want everything kind of
Yes.
We're gonna have to do this, because we don't have it
Yeah,
combined with
separate.
we're gonna have to do this separately
Yeah.
to say, hey, here's what I think.
And then I think we can do it just like we did.
It's hard.
It is, but I would like, if we plan for at least the top 10,
Okay, top
Okay.
10's doable.
okay. Cause after that, it's gonna,
So what are tell us what you have now for the first 1, 2, 3, 4.
so well, it depends, if you want, we can do number 1, the impact, you're gonna massage that language, right, that's the homeless
Yeah, right.
outreach.
You and Roberta are working on that.
We're
Sure,
going to do 1, 3, 4, and 2.
1, 3, right, but then can we put in the after school programs for the migrant, for the network? At number 3, I don't know, listen, I understand WPE is not gonna have the park thing, but something else.
So, but I think night shy, you want night shy number 3. You should have night shy number 3.
Okay,
And then,
IFB, the after school programs, I guess the concern would be they're sort of supplemental as opposed to more essential, like interpretation services or healthcare or social services.
Roberta, no, that's true, but what we're finding is these kids have nothing to do, like in the shelf, like there's nowhere for them to go.
and the parent is trying to work.
Yeah, so it's,
From the other committee, some of the sanitation aspect, because I have a feeling that those are things that are reflecting.
I'm gonna share.
Reflecting a little bit higher, and again, not to say that these school asks, they're gonna be top for those who are asking from. But if they happen to be 7, 8, 9, and 10, and they're still.
Now, can I share mine? If you stop sharing yours, I can.
It's still gonna be the
switch
top for that
Alright.
agency.
Please.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Thank you. Yes, so ACEs, the first one was definitely the after school programs because the kids and the second was expand funding for the corner basket pickups, which has been a big problem.
Yeah, it's a huge problem.
So
And that's like, that's not just one part of our community, it's the entire.
And also the third ACE is asked just to say is for bilingual educator. Do you know what I mean? So I understand housing is for the, but
Well, we need all of it.
across the board, exactly. across
But
the
are we
board.
okay if that is?
But they are not
8,
going
9,
to the
10?
same, they are not going
No,
to the same
right.
agency
Right.
anyway.
No, but I'm just saying, are we
Right.
okay if that's like an 8, 9, and 10, not the first 7?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fine.
Maybe
So-
7, 8, or 9.
Okay, when we say 10, okay.
So we want to do, so we'll just-
But I do think litter, having the litter pickup being 5 or 6 is helpful for, again, reflecting what we're hearing from the.
Quality of life, right?
okay, so we'll do, those top 2 housing, we switch 3 to 2, right?
Mhm.
That's 1, 2, 3 was going to be, do we do the after schools number 3, the funding or no? Yes, Ellen, okay. NYCHA's 4, Christine wanted to send it that NYCHA, right,
Yeah.
Christine, you want NYCHA,
Yeah.
okay. What is that?
And then what was the safety thing that you raised?
I think number 5, she said was litter pickup,
Well, yeah, but we're also forgetting that we had those 3 new items.
that's what I mean.
Right,
That's
but
what I was
those
gonna
3
say.
new items are,
So
yeah,
should we do
so
e-bikes
we're-
after NYCHA
I don't know.
as number 5?
After
E-bikes?
NYCHA.
After NYCHA, number 5, e-bikes?
Because I'm thinking, again,
I would
not to
put the
push schools.
cannabis first and then e-bikes.
Do the cannabis first, which one?
Well, there's 2.
Here they are.
What did we?
So,
What are they?
One is an educational campaign, sorry.
Yes.
here, hold on. One is an educational campaign, this one,
Right.
this one here is Jesse Greenwald has to kind of go through it, tease it through.
Oh,
But
yes, yes.
Just to coordinate state agency
This
and
one.
no,
cities.
yeah, it's
number
not
1.
written well,
This
but
one.
we'll
So he
change,
knows,
yeah,
he just gives it.
that's gotta be up there.
And after that, you can put
Should we put that number 4?
the flying,
Number 4.
Yes, the additional unit for the bike,
and they could do the cannabis at
So
the
wait,
same
so
time.
hot is number 4, and
yeah,
I just moving down to 6.
No, night has to be before.
I think,
Right,
again, I'm wondering if we can move the education just below that. And so that,
So education's number 3 here.
I want that, that's going to move it lower, so that it's actually
She wants to
number
put it
number
in number-
6.
Okay.
6, and, because again, if we think about just reflecting, we're talking about housing, we're
Yeah,
talking about, public safety, we're talking about cannabis, we're talking about litter, right? And then we're talking about education, that's.
so that education is really, what do kids do
Yeah.
after
I
school?
think
I would put it in number 6, what about 6? Right?
I could live with 5.
5, okay, look at that.
Let's move aside, but again, I think that
I
top 10 should be
I
really.
would say put it in between the 2 cans.
Okay, there we go, in between the cannabis, it's,
Appropriate these days.
yes, because the kids are.
They can go and smoke.
Yeah, they can.
Think of something to do.
Okay, so I got the 2 housing is 1, 2. Number 3 is hot now, right? The one that, the agency, right?
Yes, because I think that's important, the coordination in order to.
3,
enforce-
yeah, 3 is hot, 4 is, which one?
NYCHA.
NYCHA. 5 is after school.
After school.
6 is either e-bike or litter pickup, I forget. which
Let's
one.
No, we are the second,
The second cannabis.
Oh, sorry,
So that was
sorry.
about advertising, they're never gonna pay for that.
right, but
Advertising.
education,
No, they're never gonna pay for the public safety service announcement.
no?
Well, they did public service announcements initially, and I don't know if you remember them. It said,
No.
it said marijuana is now legal.
Oh,
Please
is
be,
it? Yeah.
please be respectful of your neighbors and be sure that you're 21 or over if you're going to enjoy marijuana. It was really
She
bad.
brings up a good point, because Jesse Greenwald, he did email me that this is gonna be a second educational campaign, so I don't know.
Yeah, and it,
all right, so put it down.
I
further
think,
down.
I think that one, I think that we put,
E-bikes as number
we
6.
put e-bikes and then litter and then the other cannabis.
Yeah.
And I think those are all the top of mind topics.
You have to put litter before e-bike.
Yeah.
Litter
Okay,
is like
litter,
everywhere.
litter before e-bike.
It's really.
Pretty down in Chelsea, I don't know what's going on up there by you guys.
Well, that's a problem, you guys
We
have
have so much
Litter
you guys.
basket has really been upgraded.
Not in
Well,
ASAP,
that's
I mean, I don't know
because
about you.
Chelsea has, you know.
It's
not
just-
actually they are.
At least on 10th Avenue.
Oh, with
At
mountains.
least on 10th.
Oh, no, we have mountains of trash.
May I
See, you are, privileged.
By the way, after 8, can we put the park staff, so at least WP
Yes, what
gets
is
in the
it?
top 10?
What's the park request?
Just more park staff and then more parks.
But don't you have a specific place?
It's here, right there.
Can we go to first before that, see what the two land uses?
Hey, we got number 4 last time. Why are we down? What else we down? It's okay.
It's the first one for.
It's okay. Pot and.
Can we look at the two land uses? Because I think one of the requests was about.
Now that you have land use. Sorry about that. I'll stop sharing and you have land use. Both land uses.
Land use side.
So I think if you put your, the parks request and you have the language
Thanks,
about,
Lily. Yeah, you're
the drugs in the parks.
Yes,
So
so
now you make the link with what we are talking about.
So it's interesting
You
you
have
say
that,
that. Yes, that's our second request because parks actually asked for more peps. We have
Right,
pep
so
officers.
put the second
that higher.
request in the first
You
tab.
want to flip the.
Yeah, because you can talk about security, and safety and drugs, which are what we are trying to talk about.
Christina's talking my language.
No, I've always.
no,
thought
she's.
that.
No, I know.
Your blog,
No,
your
yeah.
blog has seen so much, it's like unbelievable.
So we'll move the second, we have no problem. Move the
It's like you
second,
don't believe your time.
WPES.
Stay inside.
I had one delivery guy was on the street the other day, and he was telling me, he said, well, there is so much pot, it smells pot all over the city. This was the delivery guy. He was like, what's going on?
Yeah, no, we, on the bus.
Yeah,
That was
we thought there were kids, young kids that were rolling up on the bus.
So here we go, so here, because I think I didn't want to ignore these. This funding for department buildings is so important.
Critical.
Because we've been asking
Always.
forever and we keep losing, particularly in Hell's Kitchen, we're
Yes.
losing buildings because they're not recognizing
paying attention.
that these requests are coming in for partial demolition and
So
then
it's
it gets
strictly
they
linked to homelessness.
exactly directly.
So
linked
number
to that.
10,
So
That's
can
gonna be
you,
hard.
can you expand a little bit? I can't see
do
it.
you mind widening it, Nelly, just so I think it's a
Little bit
small
bigger,
font,
yeah.
yeah.
All right,
Thank you.
so we have, technology upgrades. That's done, right?
No.
No,
Mm-mm.
we should find out.
Well, this is your review, this is your.
This is our newest list.
You need to find out, right?
They said many years ago, they're gonna put the flag.
Yes.
Right, and they did not.
There's a physical flag somewhere.
It was supposed to be like a yellow checkbox, whatever, but we're finding that we're having a more,
Okay,
more demolition.
So number 10, we're doing as
I'm going to,
well, that should move
what
on
about the
then.
transportation? We have to put.
Well, I have one thing in the first 10, which says, fixed dangerous
The 42nd
intersection.
and that, and
Yeah.
there.
So you could,
Maybe number 11, or should we put that?
yeah, wherever you want to put it. Just,
I just don't want to forget.
right, thank you.
I mean, these top two here, the top two.
Are so critical, right?
Are really, because we're losing affordable
So
housing.
we need to move them up after the
Because these
5,
are very directly housing.
after the 5,
Oh,
6 and 7. You want to put them, right?
wait, I'm sorry.
I think we're gonna have to rethink a little bit of the top 10, because these two, even though it's under land use. Are specifically relating to affordable housing, risk, the risk of
Yeah.
keeping affordable housing. So I think we just have to toggle a few things. And again, I think, again, as long as we know that a WPE request is gonna be its top Department of Parks
Yeah.
request.
Yeah.
I don't, listen, and there's no shade on it by it being 15.
No, I mean, that's
Well.
just perception,
12.
because I think we're presenting to people the top 10, right?
Yeah,
So you just have perception that at least one of their
Some of
stuff
it,
is in the
yeah.
top 10.
no, that's fine. We know what the priorities are. I mean, that's.
Okay,
So I'm just gonna say, health, fiction, land use. I'm just gonna make a note.
and CLU, they have.
Yeah, let's see how
Yeah, can we go see how you now?
Isn't it the one that had the sanitation thing?
Yeah, they put sanitation in there. Why is that?
You know what? While you guys look, Bert sent something to me. Remember when he sent?
Yeah.
Oh,
Trying
no.
to develop and release RFP, that I don't, that, something's wrong here.
No, that's done.
No, but it has nothing to do with DSNY,
Yeah.
unless it's their building.
No, it's their.
Yeah, it
yes,
is their
it's their
building.
It was their.
Well, why is it expense? To
It's
develop
because
the
it's an RFP.
Oh, to develop the RFP.
Right.
Yeah, but.
Oh, no, that's not all, that's, right, moving forward.
Wait a minute, there is a mix between the DSNY building, oh, AKA the former college school, I see.
Yeah.
Expand funding for staff to expedite technology for,
And number 2 is the same as the request on
Right,
our health
right.
kitchen request.
Yeah.
So 2 and 3 here
Yeah.
on
duplicate.
Chelsea are exactly
Right.
those top ones that we want to move up.
That we're gonna inject into
Yeah,
this.
they're exactly
Go
the same
down-
thing.
Can you go down a little bit so we see what else is there?
Is there anything else, Nellie, below number 3? Okay, let's see.
Oh, that's nice, we should do that. No, flood proofing measures, flood resiliency, ADA, that's the same as the other one.
So,
I just don't know about the first one, right? Is it like a top priority?
Yeah.
I'm surprised that that's showing up as number 1 because it's asking for an RFP, and why is that a top
Right,
priority?
exactly.
Because we have other channels to get someone to.
Well, just because they have a whole group of landmark people in the CLU.
On there, and, but also maybe it's just a message, like to, no? Can you scroll, I'm sorry, can you scroll down?
But isn't
Nellie?
that normal procedure that someone's gonna come up
Thank
with
you.
money to put out an RFP? I mean, what is?
No, sometimes they have to allocate money inside the agency.
Yeah, I'm just thinking,
I'm
sure this. I mean,
yeah, this doesn't make sense that
every
it's.
project could fund something. like
Yeah,
But
or,
it-
yeah,
I mean,
It's, that looks like icing on the cake, when we are really desperate.
yeah, right,
It's like just a statement.
Right.
So maybe what we do is we just check with Jessica and with
Yes.
Carrie, just to
Mhm.
double check
Yeah.
what the logic was.
I'll do
And
that.
then to request that we actually have that lower down because it doesn't reflect the
Well,
moment.
more.
Roberta, you were just unmuted.
Right.
You unmuted?
Yes, I do think that at least some of the thinking here likely came from the recent decision to move forward with the landmarking of the site. And that this is like the next logical step. But I do agree that that conversation should happen with Jessica. I think, in a time when we're contemplating, budget cuts and we're in a humanitarian crisis, it looks very weird to, put out this RFP and ask from a land use perspective to dedicate money to it, especially when it's not, housing or social services.
Yeah, good points, good point. So let's just figure
Yeah.
out again, the top 10, keeping in mind that 2 and 3 on this list, which are 1 and 2 on the other list. No, they're
Exactly the same.
They're supposed to be the same
Okay,
thing,
perfect.
because but what I'm saying is where we put them on that top 10, so we
Okay.
didn't consider them.
Well, I'll tell you what we have, right now, the top one is, excuse me, the top 2 are the housing.
I know, but again,
You
I'm
wanna
wondering
inject.
whether or not, because these are,
So these are.
No, they are
housing.
in the top 10 or they are in the top 12 on the other side.
Hey, now can you just put HHS up again, please?
no, they're the same, they're, oh, yeah,
Sorry, I just wanted to see what we.
Okay.
So our first one is the homeless outreach, the second one was number 3, we moved.
Mhm.
Right.
And then number 3 was pot shops. Number 4 was NYCHA.
Right.
Number 5, after-school programs. Now, this is not.
I know.
Number 5 was after-school programs. Number 6 was litter pickup. Number 7 was e-bikes. Or did we flip that? No, number 7 was e-bikes. Number 8 was the other cannabis ask. Number 9, maybe we can move the educational cannabis. We already have a cannabis, so I'm just saying. Number 9 was,
The education plans, I didn't think made
What's
sense,
nine?
because we're not gonna get it.
9 was we switched, not the first WP ask, but the second, which is the PEPS enforcement.
Right.
To clean up the parks. Number 10 was house kitchen land use. Number 1, whatever the number 1 house kitchen. And number 11 was the transport, 42nd drive.
maybe you want to pick one of them and
Yeah.
put this as 12, or in the first, somewhere up there. let's
I
say,
think
right?
somewhere around the NYCHA, somewhere around the
Yeah,
NYCHA.
yeah. So this was, just go back now to CLU.
Thank you, Nellie.
Yeah, thank you. This is go down the
Oh, I
funding.
apologize, can you actually go to go to Hell's Kitchens instead?
CHKO.
Yeah, let's go to that one instead, because that will have them both in there. It's the same ones.
Here it
those
is.
two. Yeah.
Go down a little bit.
So it's 1 and 2.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
it's
one
illegal.
and two are the same as the 2 and 3 on the float, because they're the exact same length.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking that,
Yeah, you put them around
Can
like
you go down a little bit as for the number 1?
after night shot, I would say, right?
So we're, because we have the, we have,
After night shot.
yeah, that is.
okay, so we're gonna move number 10, which is now your land use, right? And we're gonna move it as number 5, okay? Okay. So then 6 is
Then,
after,
right, and everything.
everything moves down, and then the second, though, what's the second one you wanted?
That could be afterwards, the second, the other,
Yeah.
the code enforcement. That could be like, what is that, could be 13?
Hold on,
It's in the 12.
10.
That's a special district. JD is not going to be happy about that.
So it's gonna be number 12,
Discuss
the
this.
second one is number 12.
Right, okay,
Okay.
that sounds good. Wow, to two other folks.
What?
These other ones that are on this list, can be lowered down or.
We'll talk
overall
about
list.
this, yeah, we can talk.
So
Where is,
we're at 12 right now. Why don't we get to at least the 15, so figure out the next
Oh.
3, and then I think that we can
Now?
call
yeah, so
Okay.
where is bilingual, where's bilingual in the SOL programs for?
Can we, yes, Alan brings up a good point, as number 13,
it. 13, 14.
is expand, we need funding for bilingual educators. in the
13,
schools.
14.
Well, that's
Sounds good.
Well, there's one more after that that you just mentioned.
Well, there's a bilingual in the schools and the SOL in city
In the
shelter.
shelters.
But didn't we do that? Didn't we discuss those two things?
We did, but we.
No, but we didn't put
They
it in.
didn't put it
We
in.
put it in.
So that's 13, 14.
14 is what, Alan,
And then now we can put your water, parks and environment, whatever that was.
yeah,
15.
number 1, so 14 is, shelter.
Now, Christine, what we haven't put in here are any of the transportations up here in the top.
No, we did,
We put one.
in number 11,
One.
so that- yeah,
I know.
I have another one that I'd love to be in the top 15, but you decide. It's studying the sidewalk and continuing the sidewalk enlargement between, 33rd and 51st. Just because I think we need to send a message to, but I mean, it's going to,
It'll be the number 2 to DOT though, right?
no, it would be, yes.
It would be the number.
Well, it'd be number 3 because I have something
Oh,
else.
that's right.
But that's okay, don't worry about it.
what's number 16?
That would be 16 then.
No, because we only have 1 now, the first transportation is gonna be number 11.
And then
So number 16
it
is-
will be to sidewalk capacity and pedestrian widening.
As your second, as the second. So we have the top 16.
Honestly, anything that's in our top 20 speaks to what our priorities are.
No, I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
So we've got through 16.
Yeah.
So what happens, you're gonna fill in the rest of the.
I will talk with Jesse. He has.
You're gonna mix them up in
he
there.
lives, this master of lives. But I'm just gonna put in whatever we decided, I'm just gonna put it in, I'll get it done as soon as possible. I also have to write the whole narrative,
Well, I'm helping you with the
yeah,
preamble and
I'm going to just, if you guys can,
no, why don't I
Hold
cut
on.
you a draft tomorrow? And
Why don't you send it around? It's
I'm gonna,
easier.
hold on, I'm gonna show what everyone.
I think that's.
Speaking of narratives,
And then I write it in my head, and then I
Right.
wake up and I forget. And then a couple hours later, parts of it come back.
What happens that you're right?
Hold on,
I'm my age, I'm advanced.
stay with me.
Stay in
I'll show
there.
you. Let me,
That's pretty good. I mean, we got all the capital done. in
No,
terms
I
of
think
the spirit.
it's very good.
We're very much aligned and recognizing that we're keeping the narrative matching the request. And we actually, this year, we have some very specific requests, which I think is good.
I'm
That-
gonna share my screen real quick, Nelly, is that okay?
Yeah, because.
I took it off the screen.
Oh, yeah, perfect. I didn't see it, thank you. You don't wanna see my taxes, okay. Okay. So this here is the same. I just wanna go over this because I just wanna, just a little bit of a,
I tell you what would be helpful is, do we know how many migrants came to our neighborhood? Because that's the big difference with other, you know,
Of the neighborhoods.
other neighborhoods.
I know we know the actual capacities of all of the different
That's
places,
what I mean.
and I think we have that because I know that Joe had, you know what?
I mean, you know, back of the envelope, it doesn't have to be perfect.
No, we actually had it, but we had it.
Important is to say you're going to remove your COVID-19, right? But
So we have-
in the migrant crisis, we need to have like a big message saying different.
correct.
So
So this is, just so you guys know, this is the Google, remember, Roberta, the Google
Right.
Doc that you were talking about to make suggestions? So I edited, I was making changes in it so you guys could see as we went along. But as you see, I'm just gonna like edit down COVID-19, maybe it'll be like a few lines, because there's still some things like in education that's.
I'm happy to take a stab at it, Leslie, and then send it to you, and you can edit.
That's fine.
Okay.
The trends, we're gonna update, so this is where it gets, this is the cat, you see that
Yep.
green right here?
Yeah, it's green.
That's, I know this is, that's what I did, that's Jesse's, Jesse Green, that's the cannabis ad for
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
We'll put in here the e-bike, this is where we kind of talk about.
This, yeah,
This is
all of that stuff,
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
This here, usually
And
reflects.
this
on-
e-bike is another result of the migrant crisis.
Yes,
Yes.
and it all ties in, right?
Every-
Right,
that's
everything ties together.
And I think that's the key, is that we show that these are related, that's why we have
Right.
interagency cooperation in
Yes.
order to solve the problem.
Yeah.
I did want to ask you guys, I'm still doing the related documents, the affordable housing plan, the sanitation planning working group recommendations, which is from 2022, a year ago, but it still is
Yeah.
relevant, okay. And then the community needs survey.
The
obviously,
newest one,
the
yeah.
newest one, and then, see, these are the top three. It's going to be pretty much the same, except as you saw, I added. We're gonna,
Different quality of life.
different quality.
The newer ones,
The
yeah.
newer ones there, so just so you guys know, and then this is, I put in, this is what you guys sent me, thank you. I just put in the narratives.
So
Okay.
I'm happy to, for that opening thing, to do
Sure.
some linking, et cetera, like just. Because again, I think, like you said, Christine, it's very important to show that these are all related. They're not isolated, like it's only a problem of
Yeah,
housing, it's
that's
only a problem.
No, we'll have an umbrella message, a message, and then we can, you're great. This is
And do
good,
you want to put a section here which is called the coordination?
I think that's
Like you have
exactly,
COVID-19 and migrant crisis, but maybe you have
but-
coordination.
or
issue?
interagency,
Yes.
problem solve, I wanted to
Yes.
be more instead of,
But maybe you should have like a paragraph right there
perfect.
in that
In
section,
that
right?
first section, saying that the complications, the complicated nature of these issues requires a collective way of solving.
And we would welcome the mayor's office,
I have a call tomorrow with
but you
with
could put
Robin,
it right there,
Robin Forst,
right?
exactly about that.
Saying,
And
how do we do it?
help.
Okay.
All right, well, we have to give Roberta an assignment.
I'll
mean,
turn this on.
I am very happy to help with any generation here,
So
but I'm
I-
also happy to do something
I
more.
think Roberta, I think maybe in her next role, she will be digging, diving deep maybe into this assignment.
You have my vote.
And then you will, I will share everything I have with you.
Yay.
But anyway, guys, thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you.
This is great. I don't know if I guess.
Great job.
We can, do we have to vote on this, or I guess we have to
Yes.
as a task force?
Yeah.
What happened to my narrative?
What do you mean?
My haste narrative?
Oh, Joseph, you said you were a CC, Josephine sent one.
But why was it switched? What was the problem with the one we sent in
The
initially?
long one? Yeah, because look, here, these are the, so look, I'll show you. The narratives are this, I'll show you. The narratives are super small, they're like that, they're like, that's an, I don't know.
Well, you have plenty of room on the page to write more if you want.
We could if we want, yeah.
I would.
You would want it,
I would, I would like the one that we did. originally.
we could talk about, a lot of the narrative had a lot of like, you know, asking for of the list, the priorities, right? Asking for
I mean,
this.
if you want to edit it down, but we don't have anything about libraries.
I
We
agree.
don't have anything about culture. So if you want to edit.
Okay.
The main body of it down, but I
But
think.
don't you have the ask in the list about culture and library?
Yeah, but that's not the point. The point of the narrative is to whoever's reading it, is to give them a sense of what's happening in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah, you're giving the overview,
Give the overview.
yeah.
And then that overview leads into the asks, because those are the things that you want to help
That makes sense. Right.
fix what you're talking about.
You're providing. the
Yeah, and anyway,
context, and then you have the specific
I
asks.
mean,
Okay,
That's fine.
So I'll make a motion.
okay, what's your motion?
Yes, what's your motion?
All of that.
This little paper.
Okay, no, since we're being recorded,
Right, so we we modify the priorities to reflect what the community has expressed in the survey. Okay, and so we have 10 for capital and 16 or 17 for expenses, and they are, what we want to do is generally align them with the request from the community, I mean, the survey from the community.
perfect, I second that. All those in
All
favor?
in favor?
Aye. What is it, aye, Roberta?
Yes, Roberta.
I'm unsure if I'm actually able to vote in this particular scenario.
So I think because we have a quorum, people online are allowed to, this was an exact, remember, we were talking about?
Yes, except that my reason for being absent is not one of the.
Yes, right. Well,
Yeah.
because she works for one of the agencies.
No, she said that's.
No.
I work for the state.
Oh, well, how about we make a.
Oh, for your PNE.
No,
She
she
cannot
cannot
here.
Yeah,
She works for the city, yeah.
no, she's saying because she doesn't have an excuse, a valid excuse.
So no,
That doesn't work like that.
Okay, so
I don't think
here's what I would say.
No,
We're recorded, we can recognize that you are not present in the room. However, you've been present in the conversation for the sake of being recorded online.
Mhm.
Do you have a leaning of a vote in either way?
If my vote is counted, I would vote yes on the motion.
There we go, on the record.
but I have to say, I checked with Jesse
Yes, I
yesterday,
think,
and he said, you know, for the purpose of quorum,
Mhm.
you have to be in the room.
Right.
But once you have the quorum, the
That's
people
right.
who are not in the room can
No.
vote.
Right?
Yes,
They
Yes.
can't vote.
so.
So that's,
this was a very long conversation at exec, remember? Very.
yeah, but I was really confused.
Yeah, but
Okay, so let's try this again. All those in favor?
Yes,
Yeah.
I know you can vote.
Great,
It's
Okay.
unanimous.
thank you, and
And thank you, Nellie.
Nelly,
Thank
thank
you,
you so much.
Nelly, I'm so
Nelly.
sorry, thank you. And I wanna
You're
apologize
welcome.
For the glitches with the Dropbox, you guys really hung in there, thank you so much.
But
talked to
I have to
Jesse.
say, let me show you the
Thank you,
Dropbox.
Nelly, we're done, we can stop recording, I think.
Yeah.
Bye, bye, Roberta, I'll talk to you offline.
Bye. Thank you.
Go to the Dropbox.
I'm gonna